Look, all I'm saying is, I did the scouting report, and I think Traylon Burks is better than A.J. Brown anyways. So I'm willing to send you all a first-round pick and a fourth-round pick. And all you need to do is send us A.J. Just think about the long-term game anyways. I know y'all want to rebuild down there in Nashville. We're looking at winning now. We got ourselves a deal? Okay, bet. Sounds good. Well, I'll send over the details here in a second. Y'all have a good one. They never learn, do they? We are so here. Ladies and gentlemen, what's goody? It's your boy, so Co. You can also call me OSK. Either or either is gonna convey the same way. I've been getting killed with these NFL quizzes. So I think I deserve to kind of relax. But it's been so bad that I feel like I need to take out my frustration, right? So I'm gonna be pretty brief and quick with this introduction, and I'm gonna jump right into it here in a moment. But just know, today, I have some things to say about your favorite team, more likely than not. Before I get into exactly what we're doing though, please make sure to like the video, leave some comments or some suggestions down below, or just how you feel, maybe where I got this wrong. Subscribe, click the bell notification. I want you all to return. Hopefully the content keeps pushing here. We upload every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday here on the OSK channel. So that is the set schedule there, and hopefully you find something you like along the way. But without further ado, like I said, I didn't want to waste a lot of time in this introduction. Let's get into it. Today, we are going back to the tier list. Yep, I know in the NBA video I did previously, I did rank NBA teams based on aura, and we're doing it again. But this time, we're doing NFL teams. Because since I failed that quiz, I'm a little embarrassed, and I want to feel good about myself. So, I'm spinning the block, all right? I'm about to tell you why your favorite team doesn't have aura, or why they do. And now here's the plot twist though about this, right? Some of these teams have negative aura. So they may still rank high because they have so much negative aura. S tier just means you have that much aura, whether it's negative or positive. F means you have none. Everything in between, you can judge it accordingly. I'm gonna jump right in. We're gonna start with the Arizona Cardinals. All right, now the Arizona Cardinals, I think historically speaking, they don't have any aura. They have Larry Fitzgerald and that's it. Let's be real, right? Y'all went to Super Bowl that one time and it was nice and then y'all lost. Were irrelevant before then, have been irrelevant since. You're a bottom feeder, okay? There's no sugarcoating that. We're putting the Cardinals down at F tier. I'm confident in that, I'm happy actually. The Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons, I'm gonna keep it a beam with y'all. Similar to the Hawks in my NBA video. You know, it's the Mecca of the South. Always had some relevant players. You know, Brett Favre. But Michael Vick, notably, probably one of, if not their most prominent player historically when you talk about like media and attention and everything. We won't get into the behind the scenes of that. And even recently, you know, blow that 28 3-point lead. So, I mean, y'all are always relevant. You don't win a ton, but for the relevancy and the swag, honestly, I know I said swag in 2025, that's crazy. I gotta give them B tier. I think that's fair. I think the Falcons actually have aura. The Ravens have aura. The Ravens might be our first S tier. Because historically, well, you know, since the Ravens have been a thing, they've always been relevant. They've always been good. They've always had that defense, you know, during the 2000s and 2010s. You can't speak to that same extent for them recently, but they still have Lamar Jackson and now Derrick Henry. So it's like they always have that star power. And they've always been a hard-hitting team. They got the good color scheme. They're Baltimore. Like, as crazy as it might sound, Baltimore is an aura farm. And so for that alone, Justin Tucker in his prime, I'm giving him S tier. Bro, I got something in my tooth. What the Bills. Y'all think I care that y'all went to 4 straight Super Bowls? Because I don't. I deserve that. Y'all lost them though, so it don't matter. The Bills Mafia has infinite aura. The Bills team, not so much. Even if you take it to recent history, like, no, it doesn't really save it. I think I'm gonna give the Bills C tier. I think they have less aura than the Falcons. I think historically speaking, like, you have the negative aura of the 4 straight Super Bowls. Like, y'all were relevant then because y'all were there 4 straight. But at the same time, because y'all lost 4 straight, you lost a lot of points for that. So I have to put y'all at C tier. Y'all are pretty average. I think it balances out. You're the most, in my opinion, average team to never succeed, but are always relevant in attempts to make success.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Always in the playoffs, always chasing that championship, just don't have it. The Panthers. I mean, y'all have more aura than the Hornets. I think recently really hurt y'all a lot. Cam boosted you all's aura. I would say at your peak, you're probably A tier. On a good day, maybe even S tier. Like, that 2015 campaign was insane, bro. But like, also, y'all were trash a lot before that, and y'all have been trash since. And it's hard to justify ranking y'all any higher than D tier. So I think because of that logic, I'm gonna put y'all D tier. Cam Newton is keeping y'all from F tier, and take him out of the history. Take 2015 out, some of those early 2000 years. I think y'all easily go F. Bears. If I was born in 1947, I'd probably have y'all S tier. If I was a boomer, I'd probably have y'all S tier. But here's the problem: I'm not. And y'all have literally not done anything since '86, and y'all the laughing stock. But actually, no. Bears carry some aura. I'm gonna put y'all top of B. I think I'm confident in that. Actually, I'll put y'all top of B. Because y'all have that historical aura. Y'all are the laughing stock of your division nowadays, which is crazy because it was the Lions. But because the Bears are supposed to be successful and the Lions technically aren't, it's even more embarrassing. You know what I'm saying? The quarterback position takes y'all aura points down 1,000,000. Early success is going to keep y'all up there, similar to like a Boston Celtics. You know what I'm saying? But that's it. The Bengals. Bro, can I keep it a beam with y'all? I think y'all maybe have more aura than the Panthers. I think I can say that with confidence. Historically speaking, y'all had some pretty good players. I remember those Ocho Cinco days. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase now. I mean, like, y'all cool. Y'all not average. I would say y'all still above average. But when you think about your division, it's Steelers, Ravens, top heavy, and then the Browns are more relevant because they suck. So y'all are kind of like that team that gets forgotten about in your own division, right? And not only that, y'all don't have any success to go off of. Y'all don't have like a lot of pizzazz. So I'm going to say Bengals is a smooth D, and I definitely think it could go and increase if you all have some success soon. But I don't see that. The Cleveland Browns. Here's the thing. The Cleveland Browns have aura. It's just, this is the example of that negative aura I was talking about. They have trash aura. Like, they've always got made fun of. They're losers. But they're so relevant. And believe it or not, because of that, I'm putting them at top of B. I know it sounds crazy. I know. But like, when you think about the rest of these teams, right? When you think about relevancy, the Browns are always historically relevant. For the wrong reasons, yes, we'll admit. But again, we remember a lot of evil people throughout history for all the wrong reasons. But that gives them aura. I didn't say good aura. It gives them aura, though. It's negative aura. And because they have negative aura, I'm going to put them at B. The Cowboys. Similar to the Browns. Always relevant. America's team. The whole cheerleader stuff. Jerry Jones. Great historical players. Dak Prescott. You know what I'm saying? Zeke when he was there at his peak. Emmitt Smith. Troy Aikman. Even everything before that. I'm gonna keep it a beam with y'all, bro. The Cowboys are an S tier aura team, and honestly, they're at the top of S. The Cowboys have aura. We have to admit it, right? You either love the Cowboys or you hate to love the Cowboys. They are the Lakers of the NFL, bro. They always are relevant whether they're good or not. Need I say more? The Cowboys are perhaps the most relevant franchise in all of football history. There's a couple that are in contention for that title, but I think it's very hard to argue against the Cowboys as much as we love to hate them. Again, the Cowboys have the most aura thus far. It may change, but I'm very tempted to say they're probably going to stick around there. The Broncos. I feel like they're historically so boring, bro. Like, Shannon Sharp stuff was so funny to me. They have success. It's just, I don't know, man. Shout out to Von Miller. The Broncos are going to be the hardest one thus far. I think they have more aura than the Browns. And after I'm looking at this, I'm putting the Falcons down the top of C. Not because I had a lot at B, but because I don't think the Falcons are on the same level as the Broncos. The Broncos have that aura, the historical aura. They have the relevancy argument. They're just so boring to me, bro. The Lions. Historically F tier. 2020s, I'm tempted to say Air B, but that doesn't average them out anymore. I think the Lions had Barry Sanders and Calvin Johnson. They hold a lot of weight because those are like two all-time greats at their positions. Putting them at, I think they have more aura than the Panthers, less than the Bengals. I do. I think the Lions suffer from like being a trash organization, but they're not quite the Browns. Sure, they had the season where they didn't win, but unlike the Browns, we like laughing at the Browns. I think we kind of felt bad for the Lions. I honestly. So I'm gonna put them at the, mid pack of D there. The Green Bay Packers. We got another S tier. I'm sorry, bro. The Packers, and I know Bears fans are probably pissed. The Packers are up there when it comes to like relevancy, being talked about. I think people love to like the Packers too. Like, as weird as that may seem, I feel like more people like to see the Packers succeed than they would a Bears or a Vikings or a Lions. Maybe not like recently when it comes to the Lions, but the Packers, man, Aaron Rodgers brought them so far. Like, different eras, man. They always had a sense of success. They're one of the most successful teams of all time. If I'm not mistaken, let me just double check my knowledge. Which NFL team has the highest win percentage? More of a this isn't even about them. More of a reason they're staying up there, because I for sure thought it was the Packers. Wow, I did not know that. They still have that? Like, I feel like they've been losing a lot. The Texans. I will say them being young hurts them. But also, nobody's a Texans fan unless you live in Houston. And even then, you're holding on to the Oilers history. The Texans are F tier. Like, they're down there, bro. Like, because they don't have a history for real. You know what I'm saying? And, like, if you want to hold on to the good times, you want to go back and look at Deshaun Watson days, you want to say that that's peak aura for them, go ahead, buddy. Go ahead and claim Deshaun Watson as your king. Go right ahead. Be my guest. If you want to go before that, more power to you again. David Carr, Osweiler. More power to you, bro. If you're a Texas fan, shout out to you. The Colts. The Colts, bro, I'm not gonna lie, bro. They might be A tier. They might be our first A tier. I'm gonna tell you why. The Colts are funny, bro. Moving from Baltimore to Indianapolis is insane. That boosts their aura up overnight. Let's pack everything in this truck. Let's get the road jacket done and come back. The Colts, bro, I gotta give them credit, bro. They're hilarious. They had Peyton Manning. They're still relevant. They had Andrew Luck. Like, this organization is funny though, bro. Like, a shout out to the Colts. Shout out to the Colts, bro. I'm gonna say A tier because it's like the satisfying conclusion team, bro. The Colts just always figure out a way to stay relevant and be good for the most part. And then on top of that, they did the whole move. And I think that move alone from Baltimore to Indianapolis was amazing. We quite literally wouldn't have the Ravens if it wasn't for what the Colts did. So shout out to the S tier Ravens, but you wouldn't exist without the A tier Colts. Jacksonville or the AEW Jaguars. Here's my thing. Do I think they have more aura than the Texans? Because the late 90s Jaguars, expansion Jaguars, was top tier. They were a good team. They were really good back then. And then they were trash. But then they were good again. I'm putting them back for a second because I got to rant. And then they were good for that one season or 2 seasons with Jalen Ramsey. That was exciting for us. Them boys almost went to the Super Bowl. But also, the young argument. Like that whole division, the AFC South, I would say it's hard carried by the Colts, historically speaking. But the Jags, I think are still F tier. And I think they have more aura than the Texans, honestly, though, because at least they do have like more exciting peaks. I do think it's funny how if you go back to the 99 season, they only lost a total of 3 games across the playoffs and the regular season. Do you all know? Do you all know what team beat them? They lost to one team 3 times that season. I'm going to just speak on it later. If you know already, you know. If you don't, I'll speak on it later because that's funny. The Chiefs. Yo. The Chiefs are hard too because, again, they had some time where they were trash. They've also had like a ton of success though, especially recently. Patrick Mahomes. I think he gives them negative aura in the sense of like the rest of the NFL fan base, but in the sense of like mainstream appeal. Like shout out to Patrick Mahomes for doing what he does. Honestly, I have to give him credit. He's a talented quarterback, but I'm not praising the team based on how good they are. Do I think the Kansas City Chiefs in those red and yellow jerseys have nice aura? Yeah. They don't have more than the Colts though. I don't think they do, but I do think they're an A-tier aura team. The Raiders, call me crazy, they're also A-tier. Raiders are aura farmers because the Raiders, like the Spurs in the NBA video, please go check that out. I've represented a few times. But I don't even remember what all I said in that video, but it must be a banger. But the Raiders have like that historical, or they're like the opposite of the Chiefs to me. Like I feel like people talked about the Raiders a ton before the 2000s, and everybody's been talking about the Chiefs since then. It's a rivalry too. I think they have less aura than the Chiefs, but I think they have more than those teams below them, and I'm confident in that. The Chargers, F tier. I think they're at the top of F tier though. I'll give them that. But like, you're little brother to everyone. And no, I'm not using the Clippers argument for you all. You're literally little brother to the West. You're like, the Rams are more relevant. The Raiders are more relevant. The 49ers are more relevant. The Cardinals are more relevant. Yeah, the Cardinals are more historically relevant than the Chargers. The Chargers had their peak with what's his name? Tomlinson. Whatever, bro. Can't say his name right. And I feel like they haven't hit that peak since. Phillip Rivers. Ooh, scary. The Rams. The Rams piss me off, bro. Because the Rams have all the tools and location to be one of the most relevant teams ever. When they were in St. Louis, you had the greatest show on turf, right? That was peak. And I'm going to, we have no choice but to consider their history. And then just recently, you know, when they had Aaron Donald and they went on and won a Super Bowl, they had peak aura. But my gripe is every other time throughout history, we don't think about the Rams, bro. They only have max aura when they're at their best, but when they're mid to low, they're literally irrelevant. Like, they're the most irrelevant franchise when they're not good. And it really grinds my gears. I'm going to say they're at the bottom of B because, no, they're the top of C. Because albeit you all are in a good location and you have those peak days, tell me when I'm capping. When were the Rams relevant anytime they weren't good? Or anytime they didn't have the greatest show on turf or Aaron Donald? And I feel like at least with the Packers, when they're not good, they're relevant. With the Ravens, when they're not good, they're relevant. The Cowboys, for sure, are relevant when they're not good. Every team above them, when they're not good, are more relevant. And so it's like, because of that, it's like, yeah, sure, you have peaks, you have highs, but we don't care about your lows at all. You might as well just turn TV off when we're covering bad Rams. Who did they draft? Don't care. What are we talking about? The Dolphins. The Dolphins, believe it or not, I'm going to put them in B tier. I think they have more aura than the C tier and below teams. I think a lot of that, of course, does have to do with the Miami swagger. And I think the Dolphins are like that team in the AFC East that, you know, especially while the Patriots dynasty was up, we're like, man, please, the Dolphins, like, save us. Like, even though it was most of the time, like, the Jets would do something to mess up the party, like, the Dolphins, I have to give them credit where credit's due. And y'all had that undefeated season. Now, I will say, you know, similar to the Rams, when y'all aren't good, y'all are, for the most part, irrelevant. But I think the difference is, like, the Dolphins always have high expectations for them. Y'all are still a mid organization all around historically, which I did, you know, have one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, that being Ryan Tannehill. No, of course I'm joking, Dan Marino. But still, like, outside of that, man, like, y'all cool, man. I'll give y'all B tier. The Vikings. Peak Vikings is usually insane, I will admit. But historically speaking, I think this is comfortable. Call me crazy. Like, if you eliminate the great receivers of this organization. Oh, they had Adrian Peterson too. Oh, they actually changed everything. Because I was going to take into account Randy Moss and Justin Jefferson and say, like, without them, you know, you're looking at D to F tier. But y'all also had AP. I think I'm comfortable with saying that, oh, y'all do have a nice swag about y'all. I'll admit that. But I think y'all are comfortably a C tier above the Falcons. Bro, the Bills are going above the Falcons. I know the Falcons were just in B tier, but it's like, the more I think about how embarrassing y'all are as an organization, I can't. I'm sorry. The Patriots. The Pats. Bro, just because y'all had Tom Brady and y'all had all those championships with 6 under him, y'all not an A tier. Y'all not S tier. And I almost don't think y'all A tier. Aura-wise, are we serious? Like, I'm gonna give y'all a B tier off of the name alone because it is the Patriots. Ooh, scary. But like, do y'all get what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to put it into words. You had Tom Brady, which is the greatest quarterback of all time, similar to the Cavs and LeBron. You don't think about the Cleveland Cavaliers without thinking about LeBron. Same thing with the Patriots. You don't think about the Patriots without Tom Brady or Bill Belichick. And yes, that is a big chunk of you all's history, but y'all are irrelevant otherwise. Y'all are. At your peak, if we did peaks, y'all would be an S tier or a team because everybody talked about y'all all the time. But the minute that man retired, no, not the minute he retired, the minute he left, the minute the Titans dog walked him in the playoffs, get him out of here. The Saints, funnily enough, have aura. They funnily enough have aura. I think it's all based on the area because it is New Orleans. And but this is tough. I think I'm comfortable with saying top of C because the Saints historically don't really have a ton of aura. I think the 2000s really woke them up and to get an aura. Like, if we look before 2000s, the Saints have D or F. I would actually say F because they weren't successful. You go back and look at their track record before the 2000s, trash. Then they started getting success slowly but surely, and they've been relevant since. So I would say the millennium really saved y'all from being D or F because y'all are talking to town a lot. The Giants, bro, the Giants are the Knicks of the NFL, and it makes sense. They're New York. That alone is giving y'all A tier. That's giving y'all A tier, bro. Congratulations. The Giants, y'all did something right. I think the Giants are always relevant when they're trash or not, just like the Browns. But peak Giants is significantly better than peak Browns. Like, you know what I'm saying? Eli, the man that took down Tom Brady twice. Twice, bro. Bro, the Giants at peak are up there. And when they're low, they're still relevant. We make fun of them. Daniel Jones is gone, or trash. But then Saquon is gone. Like, stuff like that keeps y'all afloat. Yeah, I'm going to give the Giants A tier. But on the flip of that, I'm giving the Jets D tier. They're also funny historically because you got the butt fumbling stuff. I think they're above F tier though because I think these 4 teams are just boring. They're just historically boring. The Jets are at least historically fun, but they're the opposite of the Giants. Whereas I think the Giants has peak highs and funny lows. The Jets have peak lows and it just don't have highs. Like, nobody's talking about the Jets. The Philadelphia Eagles. Shout out the Eagles, by the way. Not my team. The Eagles. A tier. Oh my God. A tier. Yeah. I'm confident in that. I don't think they've hit S tier because of the success argument. I think they're top of A. I think they keep rolling with success here recently. They could be an S tier or a team because they're always relevant. They're fun to talk about, and they're the nemesis of the Cowboys. So we always want the Eagles to succeed because we hate the Cowboys. The Pittsburgh Steelers, the other Pennsylvania team. Bro, put them above the Cowboys. Put them above the Cowboys, is over. The Steelers have peak aura. The Steelers are always good. And they always win. The Steelers have the historical relevancy. They have the controversy relevancy. They have the playoff resume. Mike Tomlin. They had Russell Wilson. The Steelers are funny, but I'm not giving them or points off of the funniness. They're just always dynamic. They're always a gritty defense. They have an explosive offense sometimes, historically at least. They have all-time great quarterbacks, and they're always good. Steelers are S tier. The 49ers, historically also S tier. I'm actually giving them above the Ravens. I'm giving them above the Ravens because I feel like the 49ers have the 80s, 90s on lock. Well, I guess the 80s and like a year in the 90s. And they've been relevant since then. They're similar to the Cowboys, but they're just a little less relevant, right? Like historically, they're a little bit less relevant than the Cowboys, but you always think Steelers, Cowboys, and then you always think Cowboys, 49ers. I feel like we literally have it lined up perfectly between those 3. I'm going to say the 49ers are right there. Y'all had all-time great quarterbacks with Steve Young, Joe Montana, of course. Yeah, I'm gonna say that's fair. I'm gonna say that's fair. Y'all got the Bay Area swag. Shout out to y'all. The Seattle Seahawks. I think y'all are top of C. Y'all were fun in the 2010s, and that was about it. Y'all got DK that had. My bad. But I feel like nobody's thinking about the Seahawks historically, man. They're just not. Nobody's thinking about the Seahawks. Or y'all had the jerseys, and that's why I think I'm gonna get y'all top of C. Buccaneers. Top of D. Because y'all win more than them championship-wise, but y'all lose every other time. And I'm sorry y'all are irrelevant when y'all don't win. I actually, as a fan of a team that always has peak success but never wins, it makes me kind of mad how trash y'all can be historically, but then just pull out championships. Like, that really grinds my gears. So, I mean, shout out to y'all for doing that. And because of that alone and way to keep yourselves relevant when it matters, I'm gonna give y'all D tier. But y'all are just irrelevant any other time. Nobody's thinking about the Buccaneers historically outside of when y'all win championships. The Titans. This is my team. This is my favorite team. All right. I'm a Titans fan. And I'll be the first to admit the Titans have no aura. They just don't, bro. They have more aura than the Jaguars, and they have more aura than the Texans. Ha ha. You guys suck. All right. But we're still on the same tiers, y'all. Newer team. I know we have the Oilers history, but even then, what? Come on now. We got destroyed by the Patriots in the snow. The Titans just, and then again, the Buccaneers argument. At peak, still irrelevant because we don't win. I remember first seed Titans got no coverage with Ryan Tannehill and Derrick Henry. This man, Derrick Henry, broke his foot. And we weren't even talking about Derrick Henry. Pack it up, bro. The Titans have F tier aura, bro. And I'm not even mad at that. I get it. There's a lot I could go into detail about them, but I'm not going to. I'm going to spare them. The Commanders, formerly known as the football team, formerly known as, before that, the Redskins, right? Redskins history, and I apologize for using the term Redskin. I'm just using it in order to, give y'all a representation of the history and giving context. The Redskins history, we're looking at A or B tier, I'm not gonna lie. Football team history, we're looking at D, F tier. No, just F tier. And then Commanders history, we're looking at C or D. That, to me, averages out to bottom of B. I think they are the most irrelevant team in their division, but they have the historical ranking. You know what I'm saying? It's just that since the team name change, honestly, they've taken a big hit in aura, and it's not even because of the team name. It's just because they suck. Like they're just not good. And it just seems like it just kind of correlated with that. But yeah, they've been irrelevant for a while now. The last time they were relevant, they're starting to pick it up now. But before Jaden Daniels, it was definitely with RG3. So yeah, I gotta knock them for that. But yeah, that is the tier list. Let me see if I can move stuff around really quickly, y'all. I tried to keep this quick, but I think it's going to end up still being a pretty lengthy one. So just give me one moment. I'll be right back. All right, so this is the final ranking. So I did some moving around. No, I promise y'all this is no bias. But I moved the Titans up because I think the Titans had peak moments above the Panthers as a whole. And I moved the Panthers down to F. With that as well, I moved the Bills up to B tier. Because I think the Bills were able to remain relevant more often, and they have the swagger of being the Bills. I think that's pretty cool, the Bills Mafia. And then the Dolphins got moved down because the Dolphins haven't done anything since forever. So that's the final list. That was fun. I needed to get that out. I just needed to. But yeah, thank y'all for tuning into this. I like the quiz stuff, and I'm gonna definitely return because I have to redeem myself. But I wanted to take a break, all right, because they're killing me over there. But we'll get back to them. Please make sure to subscribe again so you can check out more content like this. If you do like these type of videos, please let me know, and I'll try to push out some more tier lists. But in the meantime, don't let anyone discourage you from greatness. My name is Oso Ko, and we are so out.